Georgia on the logo, celebrating back-to-back Nats. Perfection wears red and black tonight. 15-0, the Dogs have done it and won a second consecutive national.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, not again.
Lead flicker to get the night started. Downfield looking for Godwin, into his hands, and guess which Dogs are barking first? Uga, get after it.
Sonny Michel will send the Dogs home to the championship game.
And Bobo throws that thing in the end zone and
Yes! Touchdown! Touchdown in the goal line!
Sigue Ringo, corta dentro, Ringo, touchdown! Georgia!
The Georgia Bulldogs bludgeon their way to back-to-back. Glory, glory. Georgia, as the fight song says.
This is our love for each other. 1 + 1 = what? 3. We are better together and we are connected.
This is Robert Iron E. Singleton, a.k.a. D-Dog from The Walking Dead, or Alton from The Blind Side, and you are watching Respect the Hedges on the Fan Addict Sports Network. All right, guys, go Dogs. Sick 'em.
What's going on, Respect the Hedges family and Dog Nation, man? We're in here for another episode of Respect the Hedges on the Fan Addict Sports Network, man. Listen, we come to talk more offense. Last week we talked wide receivers and running backs. Today we're going to talk the rest of the offense. Offensive line, tight ends, and the quarterback room. We all know about Carson Beck, but who's behind Carson Beck and what can we do? Should Carson Beck need a rest or something like that, man? But let's go ahead and get into this thing, man. And as always, y'all know we brought to you by the Tailgate Kings. That's right, man. It's Respect the Hedges on the Fan Addict Sports Network. Dogs, hey, wherever you at, if you're somewhere near somebody that's not a Dog fan, just look at them and say, go Dogs, and bark at them a couple of times. That's what it is, man. Football season is almost here, man. So we're here to talk ball. All righty. Let's see who we got, man. Let's go ahead and bring our fellas up into place, man, and talk some football. All right, man. First up, we got the coolest fan in the land. It's Cool Cal. What's going on, Cal?
What up, brother? What up, brother? Shit, glad to be back in the studio, man. Want to just apologize to the fans last week, man. Had a little mishap last week, but I'm back, ready to talk some Dogs, ready to get this thing kicked off, man.
That's right, man. Listen, ain't no thing. We held it down, man. That's what we do. Hey, we like the Dogs, dog. We deep like the blue, competitive depth. You know what I'm saying? Not just bodies on the field, man. So we can hold it down like that, man. Next up in the building, man, is our own CA Corey Allen. What's going on, CA?
Hey, man, I'm excited to be here. I've been missing in action a little while, man. In and out of the lineup, but I'm glad to be here today. It's hot out here, baby. Goodness. I was struggling to make the clock, so I came in hot. But I'm ready, man. We got a lot to talk about. Dogs on deck. Glad to be here in the locker room with you guys.
Man, that's right. It is hot outside, man. Speaking of, y'all be careful wherever you're at, dog. It's like, I don't know. I told my wife, man, the temperatures have been this high, but I don't know about the humidity mixed with the temperature, and it feels like it's 100+ every day. The bugs is running from the heat trying to get in the house. I'm like, listen, man. Yeah. And like every time you turn around, it's something new. I'm like, I had grasshoppers in the house for the first time. I'm like, these grasshoppers say it's too hot, dog.
Everybody coming in.
It's funky out there, nigga.
Right. First lady in the building, what's going on? See, I'm just say Beck for Heisman. That's right. Go Dogs. That's
Go
right,
Dogs,
man.
First lady.
Hey, stat guy, man. Sorry to jump in y'all recruiting pipeline up there in the DMV and go get that DB to flip, man. But he said Kirby went to the DMV and shoved Beam in the locker. Hey, man, it'd be like
Top
that sometime, dog.
Yeah,
right.
We do what we got to do.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, dog. Listen, man, once you step on the field, ain't no friends. we can be friends at the bar. You know what I'm saying? J Dog, what's going on, J Dog? Say glad to be back. Let's go. That's right.
Yes,
Go
sir.
That's
Dogs.
right, man. So hey man, we're gonna jump into this thing, man. Listen, speaking of recruiting, and we're gonna be talking offensive line, man. We just got us a 6. Now, there's been multiple reports on the height. You know, on the recruiting thing, it says 6'11. I want to say on the website it says 6'10. Shawty said he saw it somewhere it was 6'9. Either way, the dude is hella tall. Jazair Jackson. And he's actually a part of the 24 class. So he's enrolling in class and headed to campus already to be on the team right now. Cal, I know you've seen some, at least seen a clip, or at least how tall this dude is. I don't know if you got to see him playing basketball now. He played basketball at OTE.
Right.
What you thinking? Is he too tall? Is he too tall?
You know what? I'm not gonna say too tall. This is what I'm gonna say. This is unique. You know what I mean? This is something different, something that we hadn't seen. But I will say, man, in all the pictures I've seen, the kid looks at minimum to me 6'10. Because everybody he's standing next to, he's towering over. You know, we can talk about it. There's some angles, if you know what I'm saying, they on one knee, whatever it is. The kid is huge, man. He's huge. So being too tall, my first thing to say is, yeah, he's too tall. We've never seen a guy that's been 6'10, 6'11 to go out there. I can't think to play any position on the football field. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, first off, you know, where he plays. Obviously, he's got great athleticism, you know, but is that going to translate to football? To me, this is a couple of year project. This isn't somebody we're going to be looking forward to next year at all. To come in and contribute, but maybe on down the line in the future once he gets some more seasoning, because, you know, it's not like he's going to, you know, Western Tech. You know, he's coming to the best program in the country, so he's going to need a lot of work.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Before we move on, Shelby says UGA Bama charter trip, tailgatekingsatl.com. They're taking a charter from Atlanta to Tuscaloosa. If you are interested, make sure y'all jump on that trip there. Go on tailgatekingsatl.com. Anyways, spoke to JV today, man. Working on some more charters to other games, so y'all make sure y'all tap in. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, hit the like button, share it, tell a dog to bring more dogs so we can grow the family, man. But yeah, Cal, I'm with you, man. This dude is tall. I saw the basketball highlights. The dude is great. He's definitely quick on his feet, light on his feet, I would say, especially at 6'11". Played at OTE, won 2 championships there on the OTE league or whatever we calling that, however they do that. But I wonder why he decided, hey, basketball ain't for me. Because, you know, if he was 6'6", 6'8", I could see that.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of typical in the NBA. But 6'11", and a lot of dominant 6'11" dudes in the NBA. So that's CA kind of, you know, make me wonder why he decided to give it up. Because he ain't played football since like the 9th grade.
Right.
Yeah, that is a good question. You know, why would he be making a decision? Because if I was his family member, I'd be shoving a basketball in his face and telling him to try to get it together, because it's too much money to be made in basketball. And if he's got the athleticism to be competitive, you know, you probably need to stick with that. Regardless of why he made the transition, change has been made. Overtime Elite is a pro situation, so he won't be able to play basketball for the Dogs, from what I understand. But he does have the eligibility in football, and we don't offer scholarships, you know, on a whole lot of projects. You know, you got to come in here and try to be special. He's got to be able to get that center of gravity low. It's a leverage game. We talked about that in our own chat, as you all know. It's a leverage game. He's got to be able to keep that center low. Otherwise, these players are going to do their best to get up under that chin. They don't care how big you are in this league. You better be able to play with that size. So he can look at what Jordan Davis did. He can look at what a guy like Richard Seymour and Marcus Stroud did. You know, a guy like Hedges coming out of Tennessee. You got to be able to bend in this league in order to be effective. He's got to be able to do more than just stand there and be a wall if he plans on playing line for University of Georgia. So I got faith in the staff. That's one of the things that we have ahead and above and beyond most other teams. We got a great coaching staff that offers great development. He doesn't have to come in here and be an immediate impact player, as Coach mentioned. But I do want to see him try to block some kicks. I mean, you 6'8", you 6'11", you know, you can do something. You know, that scholarship need to pay for itself. Get out there and be an impact player in special teams and try to find your way. But I don't mind if it is a project, that's the kind you want.
Right, and he's 6'11", and he can actually jump. Like, of course, a basketball player.
Got to be something there.
That's a good call there. See, they put him out there, block some of these field goals. What's going on, Shawty? Shawty getting in here, man. I got Shawty Parker. What's going on, my man?
CP.
Man, running on fumes, but I'm here.
Hey, that's all right, man. We here to do it big. Like, your thoughts, man. We just getting in here, starting it off, man. Talking about the O-line. Somebody mentioned recruiting, and then I brought up Jazair. I think his name is Jazair Jackson. We seen different reports, 6'9", 6'10", 6'11". Either way, pretty much, I think the tallest guy I've ever seen play football. I think Darnell Washington was listed at 6'8". He ended up measuring in at like 6'7" and a half or something. But this dude towers over him, but just as athletic, at least it looks. But I think he'd be all right in the run game, Shawty. I worry about him in that pass game, you know what I'm saying, kick sliding.
Well, ironically, I'm a little bit different. I like him better in the pass game because of his length. It's going to be hard
I agree with that.
to get around him. Now, but in the run game, unfortunately, that height could be a problem because of leverage. We talked about that a little bit in our chat. This is a game of leverage. And also, I'm going to tell you what, it's also good that we run probably 85 to 95% of our offense from the shotgun. To throw a look over a guy that's 6'6". So you really got to be throwing through windows. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to throw over him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, I see a lot of positive and some negative, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to take the flyer. You know what I'm saying? Take the flyer, and I'm going to give him every opportunity to show me what he can do. Because that size, you know what I'm saying, we'll work with him. He hasn't played with since like 9th grade, so he's definitely going to be raw. But if he can drop those hips and get low, I like it.
Hey, that's right. It is going to be tough. Listen, Carson Beck measures in at 6'4". I think Jay Rashada 6'4". Listen, Gunnar Stockton, though, I think Gunnar Stockton might be 6 foot. So let's hope he ain't. I don't know how, like CA say, I don't know, and Kuka, I don't know how early he gonna get on the field, if he gonna get on the field at all this year in spot duty or whatever. But whenever that comes, we got to make sure that the quarterback knows how to throw through those windows or something like that.
So that's another interesting point too. Again, because this is an outlier. So the kid is 6'11". No matter how tall your quarterback is, that's still going to be a huge adjustment trying to throw over a guy that's that tall, or however you're going to make those adjustments. Because normally an offensive lineman, he may be 6'4", 6'5", and that's pretty tall, for a lineman. So when you telling me a guy that's another 5, 6, 7 inches, that's a huge adjustment in itself as well. And is it set in stone that he's going to be on the offensive line, or did we just bring him in as an athlete?
Okay. Veronica said she worried about you, CA, with the long sleeve outside. Make sure it's the heat and the humidity.
That was a bad decision. I just jumped out here.
Hey, Charlie, we're getting some feedback. Okay, I got you. Stat guy says 6'11" will be the 4th D1 player since 2017. That height. Like I said, listen. Hey, I'm like CA though. We don't just throw out scholarships to anybody. You know what I'm saying? We got people that actually want to be on the team that's worth being on the team. So if he got a scholarship, Kirby and the staff saw something, and hopefully that can come out. I'm assuming, like you say, he can't play ball because OT is professional as far as basketball, but he does have 4 years of eligibility. We'll see what he does with that in Athens, man. But before he get on the field. Listen, man, he just another in a long line of guys that's tall, dog. Like our 2024 class, before we move into the starters and the backup, our true freshman, Daniel Calhoun, 6'6", Michael Uini is 6'7", Marquise Easley is 6'5", Nair Daniel 6'7", and Marcus Harris is 6'7". Sound like these dudes gonna have to find these windows in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you ask me, Coach, whether the quarterback is 6'6" or 6'11", lineman is 6'6" or 6'11", it really won't matter too much to the quarterback because he can't throw over his head regardless. He's got to find that window just adjacent to him. So I don't think it'll be a huge adjustment, Cal, when I think about the question that you asked. It definitely matters because you won't be able to get those reads that you're going to have a blind spot, clearly.
Right.
Working around that has to be something that you develop in those practice reps. But a lot of talent in that room. That's one of the rooms I say every year. I never really look at closely who we got in there because I know we got at least 5 ready to roll. This incoming freshman class is like none other. And then when you add in this almost 7-foot giant, the depth is there. The starters that we do get a chance to bring back, are all impact guys and guys looking to make a quick transition. Even the new center that we got coming in, I feel like is not ready to take a back seat. He's going to come in and be strong at the point from day one. That offensive line that Stacey Sorrells has helped to develop has been a strength of our unit, of our team here since Kirby got there. That was one of the things I think he made a point to strengthen as far as the trenches are concerned. And that'll be what leads the charge if we can have success in 2024.
I agree with that, man. And talking about those starters, you mentioned Jared Wilson, the center. He is taking over for SVP Cedric Van Granger. And Cedric Van Pran said in the end, we ain't got nothing to worry about with Jared Wilson. He might end up being, this is from Cedric, that he might end up being better than him at the center position. You got Dylan Fairchild, Green at the tackle, Tate Ratledge at the other guard, and then Xavier Truss, all starters returning except for Jared Wilson. So that's actually a big plus. And then we got some guys on that second unit, fellas, that's actually got some players. Monroe Freeland played some at that right tackle last year. He was a true freshman last year, and that says a lot. True freshmen come in and even get any kind of snaps, in Athens. So I think, and Micah Morris, him and Fairchild kind of went back and forth. Fairchild taking the majority of the snaps last year when they was in there, but Micah Morris getting a lot of that too, Cal. So I think like we got a deep offensive line. Of course, we always in talks for the Joe Moore Award, but this might be the year.
For sure.
So anything we worried about on the offensive line outside of Jared Wilson's lack of snaps? I would say he did play in the Vandy game, and as far as meaningful snaps, not when we was just like up. Dad, any worries about the offensive line at all?
No, I mean, only thing I would say is, that center position, we're having a stalwart player there for so long, just, having a new person there. That's about the only thing, but we always going to play, 8, 9 linemen throughout the year. So a lot of guys are always getting reps. So I'm not really worried about that. If 16, meaning Kirby's, deem him to be the starter, I'm going to roll with it. But one thing I will do is I want to highlight Ernest Green. I don't know if, I had a chance to watch film once again. I don't know if we give this kid enough credit. The young kid is serious in the open field. If you're going to run screens, his pull game, his punch, I mean, this kid is unbelievable. I mean, it's a highlight. I really wish I was running late because I had put together a little bit of highlight that I wanted to play about him. But he just demolished the cornerback from Florida. Oh, man.
Yeah.
But Ernest Green, anytime you want to pull this kid, please do it. Anytime you want to run a jailhouse break screen or anything like that, anytime this kid, I don't know if I've ever really seen an offensive lineman, especially a tackle, this good in the open field, making blocks on people in the open field. So I definitely want to highlight that on Ernest Green.
Shout out to Ernest Green. That's saying a lot because, Marius Mims was one of those 6'8" guys, 6'7", whatever. And he was very mobile. So to say that's a big talk. And kudos to Ernest Green. I had a thought in my head. Xavier Truss on the left side of the line. I want to see him be a little bit better in pass block. He's one of those taller guys. I want to say he's about 6'8" or whatever. So I think he's good in pass pro, but I want to see him get a little bit better with the speed rush. Because sometimes those guys can get up under and around him when they run that arc. So
what do we have at third tackle, Coach?
We got so you got Monroe Freeland is going to be the first sub in. He'll probably come in. He's listed as the backup for the left tackle, but he actually played right tackle last year when so we had somebody go down and then Truss moved over to the guard, and then Monroe Freeland actually played on the right side. And actually, for a while, I thought he might take some of Truss snaps. So
I did too.
And that was as a true freshman. So he's a sophomore. Now, what's up, Charlie?
But I was just saying, but like to your point, UNCA point, that's just a testament to the staff. Like these guys are so interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? That also increases your draft stock. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just amazing what we do being able to play so many guys in so many different positions, and someone's always ready to step up.
Right. And Xavier Truss came in as a tackle, and then he actually early in his career played mostly guard on the left side, and then he moved to tackle. So, like you said, Shawty, they got these guys moving all up and down the line. To be honest with you, man, and shout out to Tate Ratledge, man, preseason first team All-American at that right guard spot. So, I mean, we didn't talk about Tate, but Tate
didn't mention him.
Yeah,
yeah,
right. It's like what you call it in the corporate world, they cross train,
right? Right. What's up, Carlo? What's going on, my man? That's right.
What's going on, CeeLo?
We got B. Shaw say Mims went down. That's right. Mims went down, and then they had to put Freeland in, and they moved Truss over to the other side. It was like all these guys be moving in and out of the line. I remember when we had Sawyer, man. Sawyer worked from center all the way out to tackle in one season.
He did.
So,
Yep.
I think, needless to say, man, like CA said, man, Stacey Searles got these guys right and should be back in the running for another Joe Moore Award, which is going to help this offense with those weapons we talked about last week. On the outside, man, now we're going to talk about some of the weapons, the other weapons, man, that tight end room. Cool Cal, I want you to jump in on that tight end room, man. Give me your thoughts. You got, the incumbent Oscar Delp and then the transfer guy coming in being Yasaric.
Okay. So, obviously the tight end room, man, it's a little bit different. Obviously, we just lost, potentially the best tight end we've seen in college football.
Right.
So just based upon that alone, there's going to be some drop off. You know what I mean? Like we've just lost the best guy that we've ever seen. But that drop off doesn't mean that we still don't have an all SEC caliber player, a player that still may be a high draft pick. So the tight end room is interesting to see in the fact that who's going to kind of break out of that crowd as far as like who's going to get those catches, who's going to be a guy that can get us, 40, 50 catches, somebody who's going to be dependable on third down. And also, I want to see us get a little bit more physical in that tight end run game. I think that was something that's been missing a little bit, and I want to see who's going to be able to step up and kind of maybe fill that Darnell Washington type of role where we can get back out on that edge and start to crack some of those big plays again that I think we're missing just a little bit last year. So the tight end room, I still feel really good about it, but it's a room that I definitely have questions about, and I'm just looking forward to seeing who's going to be able to step out that crowd and be that definitive 1-2 punch that we've had in the past.
CAJ Dog gets in and says, "Is Delp that guy?"
I think Oscar Delp can be productive for us. That guy was Brock Bowers. He ain't that. And that's not even a shot at him. We just had something special at the position. But when you look at what Delp does bring to the table, he and Lucky are really good at stretching the field. Great athletes, have an opportunity to be some huge mismatches here on Saturday for Carson to take advantage of the middle of the field. The transfer we got from Stanford, inline blocker. What's his name again, Coach? If you get me right, please.
Ben Yurasek. Ben Yurasek.
Take care of me. Yeah, I have seen some footage on him. Very comfortable with him on that line, helping to support the run game. I think that does bring balance because I feel like the two guys that have the most experience, when you look at Delp and Lucky, I think they're really more of a matchup problem. And we want to be specific in those roles. We got reverses we can run. We got screens we can run. I think having both of those guys in the fold with a veteran quarterback like Beck really puts us in a position to be successful. Having that quarterback under center who has this experience is going to give everyone on offense a chance to be highlighted because he's going to get a chance to pick and choose who he wants to be special at any given point. So the guys know that they got to come out and play hard. And if you play hard, you're going to be rewarded because Carson is really going to have such a feel for the offense that he can actually take the time to pick out, hey, love it right now, Eden. Hey, right now, Lucky's having a great game. Hey, let's go ahead and find out, who wants to be successful, who wants to step out. And I think the tight end position is going to have so many opportunities that we're going to spread it out a little bit. Mike Bobo, as the coach, is going to have the options at personnel. And I think we're strong at the position, even though we don't have the guy that we've had for the last 3 years.
That's right. And Shawty, I know you do watch film and you try to check these guys out. Have you seen the tight end from Stanford? He had 6 games last year, got hurt, but the first 2 years he played at Stanford, man, he was all Pac-12 both years, and he showed some similarities to our guy Brock. He ain't Brock by no means, but I don't know if you had a chance to watch and what you thought of him.
Yeah, one thing I will say about the kid is that what I like about him, he actually, in my opinion, he actually brings a little bit more balance to the tight end room, because I think Delp and Lucky, very similar type players, and especially when you're talking about in relation to the running game. I think Ben brings a little bit more physicality at the point of attack. And I think that's really going to actually help Lucky get more snaps, because now when Delp is out, he can come in and be fresh and be more productive, as opposed to trying to have both of those guys in at the same time and trying to be physical in the running game. I think Ben brings in a little bit more balance for that. So I think he's really been overlooked in terms of what he's bringing to our team if he can be healthy.
Yeah, and he's 6'4" to that point. He's 6'4", 242. He's from Bakersfield, California, another California tight end, just like Brock Bowers. So maybe we'll strike gold again, as they say when you go to California. I'm looking for Delp to like you say, break out. I was looking at, shout out to UGAsports.com. I was looking at one of their film and says his drop rate was actually the lowest on the team the past 2 years or so. I know he didn't get as many targets, but the dude had under a 4% drop rate. Brock was right there with him, but that said he had holding on to the ball when we do throw it to him. So I'm looking forward to it, to seeing what this room can do and what Ben can bring in that, like you say, in that run game, being more physical, the physical presence.
I think we know what we're going to get out of Delp. I mean, I think we know. I'm more interested to see what Lucky and Ben brings, to be honest.
I think it's just that for me, Lucky been playing second fiddle, and I want to see if he can be like let's say he getting the most targets this year. He hasn't been in a situation outside of those 3 games where Brock didn't play where he's the most targeted tight end. That's what I want to see. Carlo gets in and says, something tell me Kirby's going to be on the megaphone around this group. Listen, Kirby on the megaphone for everybody. But you're right. I can see that too. Listen, tight end is integral to this offense, and it has been. I don't remember the last time it hadn't been, to be honest with you.
Sure.
Since Jim Dunnan took the reins, to be honest with you, and it's been tight end. So, but behind that line and them tight ends, man, it's the quarterback room. Now we all know, and we'll say Carson Beck for last, but Shawty posed the question, I want to say it was last week or maybe on a different show, is how we feeling about our quarterback room behind Carson Beck? CA, how you feeling? I mean, we all know it's a rough game out there, and it's a long season, especially now with the 12-team playoffs.
True. We have to feel however you feel is going to be based on your opinion of Jaden Rashada, to be honest with you, because that's the experience that'll be coming on the field. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to be Gunner. So, yeah, it's going to be based on what does this transfer have to offer, the versatility. Is he going to be able to make plays in our league? Is he going to be able to keep us in the right play on schedule, putting the players around him in a position to be successful? So it's really going to be hard to gauge because the fan base hasn't seen it live. And anything that we haven't seen live is unproven. We're going to be skeptical. You can ask our great Stetson Bennett. You're going to go through hell before we reward you. I really feel like you have earned our applause. So we don't know what's behind Carson Beck, which is why we lean heavily on him. That's going to be up to Mike Bobo to develop. That's his job. He was saved by the bell when Carson decided to come back. That made his year a whole lot easier. That's just the reality of the situation, to not have to go into install with a brand new quarterback and, in a system that, really needs to move at a fast pace. He doesn't have to worry about that. He's got that luxury. He can use Carson and let Carson really take over in practice. Behind Carson, he's got to develop these guys. He's got to make sure that Rashada is ready. If we put Gunner in there, he better be ready. In these early games, we don't have a lot of cupcakes here. So we don't have a chance to really get a guy in there and let you get lathered up and try to learn on the fly. We're coming out the gate swinging. So that's a Mike Bobo conversation, that player development. I don't know what we have. I know what Jaden Rashada did over on the West Coast, but that ain't the kind of defenses he's going to face, when he lines up in Saturday in the fall. So, you know, moving forward, we're really counting heavily on Carson. Behind Carson, it's really an unknown in my opinion.
Cal, Gunner got a couple of years in the system. Jaden Rashada is the more, I would say, ballyhooed quarterback, if you want to say that from recruiting. You feel like CA where there's a chance that Rashada may be the guy we call on if need be.
Honestly, man, that's a great question. I absolutely have no idea. I think Gunner's gotten a little lost too. Gunner was like a 5-star guy coming out as well. He was very highly recruited. You know, he's got some of the top stats ever for a Georgia quarterback. Now, is that going to translate, you know, to the college? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no clue. I don't know. If Beck did have to miss some time, I think that we could construct an offense and our team is good enough where we could get by. Will it be good enough to get us where we want to go? I don't know about that. I don't know enough about those guys. I know we've seen Gunner play. You know, he's played over the last couple of years, but I don't know if that's been good enough to keep us on a championship level.
Right.
But what I do know is I know we have some talented guys. And like Cia just said, it's Bobo's job to make sure that those guys get developed. You know, so if we do hit a snag during the season, somebody has to step up. You know, they got to be ready to play. Right now, I would probably say it's Gunner just because he's been in the program for the last 3 years and he has the experience. But, you know, Rashad is he's the wild card. I don't know what he's going to bring us. I wouldn't say that I was overly impressed when he was at Arizona State. But again, that's Arizona State. This is a whole different animals, getting a whole different type of coaching, a whole different type of team, a whole different type of talent. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. So I'm interested to see when that depth chart comes out, who is going to be the number 2 guy.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that. Carlo gets in and said, can you compare Gunner to Carson while he waited his time? I think that's where the comparison stops, to be honest. Just the physical makeups are different. The playing styles are different. The arm talent is different. Now, guard, like I think CA said, the dude Gunner is a winner. That's one thing we know. He a winner. He won all through high school. The first time I ever seen him, he was playing against Brock Vandegrift, and they was doing him in. So, Brock held his own, but Gunner definitely got the best of that situation. He's been in the fold for 2 years, so that's kind of like Carson. Carson was in the fold for 3 years before he took over. Go ahead, Cal.
I was just going to add to that too. I would say Gunner, to me, even though obviously he was a lot more highly recruited, he gives me more of a Stetson feel. A smaller guy, a little more of a dual threat, doesn't have necessarily the strongest arm, but with playing time and more development, I could see him kind of more so getting into that type of fold, more like a Stetson.
I definitely can see that. He's definitely as athletic. I don't know about Carlos says bigger, stronger Stetson. Yeah, Stetson was a more agile, quick with quick twitch. He was more elusive than like a Gunner. Gunner will try to run you over. Like Gunner ain't trying to run around you. He either gonna run away from you if he can, or he's going to try to run.
Wasn't he a safety in high school too? He played like quarterback and safety.
Right. That's the story. Malachi said Gunner Stockton has been his hardest hit ever because Malachi played a lot of quarterback in high school and said Gunner tried to take him out. So Gunner's definitely a tough dude. Stat guy says Rashada against 2 Pac-12 teams last year, and if he only played 3 games, he was 44 of 82, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions for 485 yards. Again, under different tutelage, not saying that it wasn't great out there. It's going to be a different system. I think I watched him in high school. I think Rashada has the tools. It's can he catch on to the playbook and how fast that'll be. Hopefully, because of these linemen we talked about earlier, we don't have to worry about that. Carson was only sacked 8 times last year. I want that number to stay the same or go down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. More games, a couple more games that we anticipating, but Carson is great at reading defenses, especially pre-snap, and getting that ball out quick. So hopefully that'll hold on. But I think there's a couple of games in there like Tennessee Tech, and there's a couple more, maybe the Vandy. Now, we don't play Vandy this year. I forgot about that. It's another. We got somebody else. You muted, see?
That's an SEC school, coach. Don't do that. Like that.
I have a take on the quarterback.
Started sipping them grapes, ain't she? Like
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with that said, it's like I know, Shawty, you know, I started this out by posing the question that you asked us on another show about how we feel about the quarterback room. I don't know if you ever gave us your take on how you feel about the quarterback room.
I didn't. But I'm just sitting back here listening, and CA just kind of shocked my world with that. Because that is very interesting. I would like to think that, you know, with a guy like, you know, Gunner being in the system, like you guys, I think Cal and you pointed out earlier, being in the system for a few years and have a few years under his belt, and a guy like Rashada, from what I've seen, granted it was a small sample size, can come in and beat him. I think that bodes to a much bigger picture. And it was the reason why they brought Rashada in. So I don't want to think like that. I want to go ahead and keep thinking that Gunner's going to be the backup. But that is very interesting. I just never thought about Rashada actually beating him out. But once again, I think that bodes to a bigger picture if that's the issue. And once again, you know, I don't doubt 16 and what he do. But I would like Gunner. I would like to think Gunner is more prepared to make better decisions and keep the offense afloat until we get Stetson back, if we were to have an injury. Not Stetson, but Beck back. Sorry.
Right. Thoughts? You like you pondering, CA? Thoughts on that? A rebuttal?
Well, I guess the question is, what's more valuable, game experience or experience in the system in practice? He has gone against a top-tier defense. Bullets weren't all the way live, but he's gone against it, and he should know all the calls. He should be able to, and when I say he, I'm speaking about Gunner. He should be able to keep us on schedule because he knows what he's being asked to do. Game experience can't be beat, though. That's a tough call, to be able to handle the pressure in a tough environment on the stage. You know, those. So I guess that's kind of where I'm trying to figure out what's more important. And I'm always, I guess in my experience, I lean toward gamers, man. You know, what you do on Saturday is what's going to matter. Gunner hadn't had a chance to prove that. And we'll see if he gets that opportunity.
That's gonna be interesting. B. Shaw gets in and agrees. Say he does play against the best defense in practice, but like I say, they hitting in practice. But then you know, everybody is still in the back of your mind. No, it ain't like do or die as far as like in the game. So that'll be interesting to see. I know Kirby likes to have 4 scholarship quarterbacks. So whether it was Jaden Rashada or somebody else, he was definitely bringing another scholarship quarterback in.
Absolutely.
And not that we trying to not talk about him, but Ryan Puglisi is out. He's the true freshman of the bunch. I think he has. He's one of the more talented quarterbacks in the room. So in the future, that'll come more into play. I don't think he's gonna get any snaps, if any. I mean, unless we blowing. I mean, UMass or Tennessee Tech maybe. But outside of that, I don't know if Ryan Puglisi gonna see the field this year. At least I don't want him to, because if he's seeing the field and it's a crucial game, that means some people hurt and
something went wrong.
Something went terribly.
Something went wrong.
That kind of what I'm saying about that. What I'm saying about the bigger picture. The fact that even if that kid would have to play, that's what I'm saying. It bows to the bigger picture of what we actually have in depth at the quarterback room and what we think of our quarterback room. Because there's a reason we brought Rashada in. Right. But if we bring that kid in and he can come in and be the number 2 over a kid that we've had in the system for 2-3 years already.
Well, you got to realize too, Shaw, that we did have to bring another quarterback in after we lost. What's the kid we lost in Nebraska? Rayola,
and then we lost Brock in the transfer portal, and then we lost Rayola.
Right. Yeah. So we had to bring in more depth.
I'm not talking about the numbers of bringing one in. I'm talking about the fact that you bring him in and he supplants and be the number 2. When you already had a guy currently in your system for 2 or 3 years. I don't care who you bring in. I know you got to bring somebody in. I'm just talking about the pecking order.
I think that's what the portal's for, though. That's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right. You're right about that. They didn't bring him in for nothing. We don't bring nobody in for nothing.
Oh yeah,
especially through the portal. Especially through the portal. Kirby say he's taking players that can't come in and compete. You know, we talked about the wide receiver room last weekend. We barely mentioned Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson ain't got but 1 year. I mean, he got a COVID year if he want to use it, but We brought him in for a
right.
reason. So it's something that he does that we like, that we say we can use. Same thing with Rashada. Like to Shawty's point, we could have went out technically. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there just to have a number, but we went out and got Jaden Rashada, and we all know that he was a high-profile guy coming out, and his story. So if he ends up, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say we did bring in another kid, and I think he committed for a day or something. What was that other kid? We had another guy.
Oh, you talking about the guy that was going from UNLV? He was gonna go from UNLV, and he committed, and then he ended up.
And then he winded up bouncing and going somewhere else.
USC, I thought
was it USC?
I think he's the backup at USC. Yeah, because I think at USC is they got Miller Moss, the guy that played in the bowl game, and then that I think that might be it. B and Shaw, B, come on, B, don't do this to Gunner. Don't do this to Gunner.
Damn, Joe. Whoa.
Don't do that to Gunner.
Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you that Joe Cox here was one of the worst.
Wait a minute. Hold up now. Come on. We all dogs.
I'm sorry to the Joe Cox family.
In the locker room.
That man,
I'm sorry to the Cox family. Listen, man. I mean, he brought it up, man. Listen, that was a tough year. I'll just leave it at that. That was a tough year.
Okay.
We love all dogs on Respect the Hedges, baby.
We've seen some tough years, to say the least.
I'll say this: as different as watching that season was, it wasn't our worst moment at quarterback.
It wasn't. What was the other guy that was there about 4 or 5 years ago? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The big 6'6", the 6'6" light-skinned dude we had. Y'all remember right before Stetson? He came in and he looked
Virginia
scared.
guy?
Dewan Mathis.
Dewan Mathis. There you go. There you go.
Hey man, shout out to Dewan for recovering from brain surgery.
He's still playing ball.
And still playing ball. He's moved to wide receiver now. So shout out to him.
He's still playing.
How many years he got?
This like his 9th year of COVID.
He had 1 year. It wasn't COVID. It was because he had the brain
medical.
Right.
Medical, and then
so he got a red shirt, medical, and COVID.
I don't know. Hey man, people out here playing when they twin self. It was
man, he's still getting that NIL, man.
He still got a chance to get a little bread.
Hey man, I saw somebody got a guy. I want to say, if I'm not stat you in the you out there, man, make sure you correct me. But somebody, I want to say. Not Miami. Somebody got an 8th year.
It's the tight end from Miami. I said that earlier in the year. He's like on his 8th year.
Right.
Like for real, 7th or 8th, something like that.
Shelby, I'm not doing that. He is a dog through and through, and I'm not putting that on the screen.
I'm gonna ride with whatever coach said.
But that is the guy that I was. That was the time and the era that I was talking about. Shout out to that guy. He's a dog through and through. So, but anyway, man.
I'm gonna leave these legacy dogs alone because I feel like I know what you're doing over there.
Right. We got, hey man, but on to the guy that's calling the shots, man. It's Carson Beck, man. Sean, I'm gonna let you get in here first, man. What you looking for Carson Beck this year, man? What's the expectation? We know we want him to do better than last year, but what you looking for Carson Beck?
I mean, I'm just gonna throw some numbers out there first. I'm expecting at least 35 touchdowns for sure thrown. Whether it be thrown and run, I need a combination of 35 touchdowns.
Okay. And
I need over 4,000 yards. This is, you done came back for a reason. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's go and get this Heisman. You know what I'm saying? Let's go deep on this playoff run. But we know what we're gonna get out of Carson. I mean, we've seen he's the best quarterback coming back. And in my opinion, he's probably the most prototypical quarterback that we've had in a very long time in terms of projection for the NFL. But just in terms of improvements and things I want to see, I want to see him get moved out the pocket a little bit more. I think he's best when he's rolled outside the pocket. I don't like for him to be stationary for so much. I like to see him run a little bit more play action. And believe it or not, I want Bobo to put him on the center just a little bit more to take more effect of the play action. But that's just me being me. But other than that, man, I think Carson Beck might need to improve a little bit on some of his deep passes. You know, a lot of time I still think a lot of time last year I think he does a little bit too much aiming, and what I mean by that is he throw the ball on the back shoulder a little bit too much sometimes. I think it's getting a little bit redundant. It's almost like, you know, it's almost like he see the read late and he just trying to stick it in there. So maybe that's a timing thing. We do have a lot of combination of receivers, but hey man, Carson Beck is Carson Beck. He's the best quarterback coming back. I just need him to protect the football and put up some good numbers, man.
I'm with that, man. And my one thing I want to see him improve in is the deep ball pass on the post. I don't know what it is about the timing. We kind of overthrew some people, you know. I know, and not Arian Smith. You know, I get it. If you're timing off with Aaron, he's so fast, you don't know whether, you know, he in full stride or not. But like just with other people, I want to see the deep ball, the post. I want to see that more consistent. That's what I'm looking for Carson. I can take him under the center, shotgun, rolled out in the pocket. Long as that line keeping him clean, that's all I care about. But I definitely want to see, because if he can get that post route, if he can get that more consistent, because there was definitely a few that he missed last year that could have been touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And we all know like last routing folks up last year. Yeah, we got
a big body forward this year. Kobe Young, big body. That made that post route a lot easier.
True that. CA, what you looking for from that starter at their QB?
I think Thad touched on almost everything because, you know, just consistency. You know, he's going to be in a great position to lead this team to success. What he did last year or better is the minimum, to be completely honest. I like the numbers that Thad threw out there because Carson's going to have to lead this team, and that's as far as we're going to be able to go. So I'd love to see him have success throwing the ball, more success on third down. Whatever the number was last year, got to be better. You know, I really just want to see him distribute the ball efficiently. You know, I'd love to see him get that thing to 8, 9, 10 guys a game. That way the defenses truly are having to guard the entirety of the field. But I'm actually counting on him to be that guy that we're asking him to be. He's got a great quarterback coach. He's got a head coach that believes in him. He's got skilled players around him that we've never seen before in Athens as far as this level of talent, especially at the wide receiver spot. And you can't cater to a man no more than we have. He riding in a flashy Bugatti or whatever we're doing. Like, it's time, baby. I mean, you asking for the spotlight, it's your turn. And it ain't nothing like when it's your turn in Athens, baby. You know, he's got to enjoy this, take advantage of it, but it's got to breed success. And I need better than what you gave me last year. That's why you came back. So show me what you want to be, and that should end with the ceremony in New York and our team going deep into the playoffs.
So to that point, Cal, in 2021, Stetson helped us get there, but the defense carried us. But in 2022, I say it was more Stetson, whether it be leadership, making plays with his feet, darting them up, whatever. And Stetson led us, carried us, led us, however you want to frame it in 2022. Last year, Carson played good, but we didn't have it ain't like I don't know if Carson actually won us a game per se. You know what I'm saying? But do we need a 2022 style of like Stetson gave us in 2022 for us to make it all the way? Or can he just, give us a little 2021 Stetson or 2017 Jake Fromm and we'll be good?
Yeah, so we're going to throw that Jake Fromm out.
I don't even know why he did it. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? A Jake Fromm year? No.
Yeah, we're gonna throw that one out, Coach. We're gonna throw the Jake Fromm year out.
We made it to the
ship. Honestly, man, listen, with Beck, last year Beck improved a lot. Let's take it back to the Auburn game. I thought he did a good job. That was a tough game. It was his first road game, our first road game in the SEC. I thought that Auburn came in and they played their asses off that game. But I thought his toughness throughout that game, I thought he made some big time throws late in that second half. Obviously to
Brock Bowers.
Obviously Brock did bring it home, but I thought that his toughness in that game, I thought he was able to get over some early mistakes. And I see him having that type of moxie to do that in tough games. Because at the end of the day, guys, last year, I mean, we lost one game.
Right.
The game we lost, he played his worst. I think as a team, as a coaching staff, we didn't bring our A game that day. And that's why we didn't get back to the national championship, because we had such a poor performance in that game. But long story short, Beck should be a Heisman finalist. He should be atop of that. If we're there, we're where we want to go. If Beck is an average guy, we're not going to be where we want to be. It's just really that simple. We can't have Jake Fromm year. Beck's got to be better than he was last year if we're going to go out and win the national championship.
You on the same thing, Shorty? We like Beck got to carry us to the natty. He can't just have a good year.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be the catalyst, and not only going to be the catalyst, he got to be where it kind of takes us over the top. Now, granted, you're going to have some complementary football play. You're going to have defense that plays, maybe top 25 at least for sure. I'm expecting this offense to be actually, let me just go back to the numbers. We're looking at right now prognosticating a top 10 defense. We're one of the only 3 teams in the nation that has a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. UGA, Ohio State, and Oregon right now prognosticated are the only 3 teams to have that particular statistic. Right. So, right. I mean, if you got a top 10 defense, now just to that point, he may not have to play great if you got a top 10 defense. He may can play like he did last year. But I don't expect that, because once again, to CA point and what I said earlier, he came back for a reason. I expect him to be better in every facet of his game.
I definitely agree with that, man. I'm with y'all, man. I just want to know your thoughts, because, I mean, again, the reason why I brought up Jake Fromm is because that team was talented in 2017, but I feel like this team is actually more talented this year. Like, I mean, I liked all of our talent in 2017, but I think this team is more talented. And for sure, needless to say, Fromm was one play away. So, but all Fromm did was not have to lose us no games. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's why that's kind of like, Carson have to win games, or I think he's gonna have to win the game we go to Tuscaloosa. You know what I'm saying?
That's the reason. Our schedule is too tough. Our schedule is too tough, game in and game out, for him just to be an average quarterback. Now, some of the schedules we've had in years past, maybe you could just be an okay quarterback and we could still go out and dominate. I don't think we're going to be able to do that this year. We got too many landmines on the map for him to just be okay and to think that we're going to go and win the national championship.
And in that scenario, Coach, when we had Fromm, the seniors were the running backs.
Right.
He had a special backfield behind him. Carson's a special guy in this scenario. So
gotcha.
He got to be the man.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm in agreement with that, man. I think Carson is set up to have a special year, and I think he will. Carson's a smart guy. Again, I always say I've been following the guy since he was in 11th grade, man. And dude, he just knows how to throw that thing.
Made a believe out of me, Coach. Made a believe out of me.
He just knows how to throw that thing. That's what it is, man. So, man, listen, just like that, man, time is flying, man. We almost up on the hour already, man. Listen, y'all, make sure y'all coming back next week, man. We're gonna start in on this defense and what this defense can be. As Shawty said, we're one of 3 teams in all of college football that's projected to be in top 10 in defense and offense. And as much of the offseason has been talked about that offense and what we can do, and Carson Beck's Heisman chances, and the wide receiver room, which is, like CA said, probably the deepest we've ever seen in Athens from top to bottom. We may not have that, and AJ Green. We may not have a CA. We might not have a Terrence Edwards, but we got guys. And one thing I like about the wide receiver room is versatility. There's like a lot of, like, you name the type of wide receiver you would want, we got one of those guys in the room. So,
and just think about production though. All these guys got film. That's what's so important. Everybody got film that's coming back.
Like, between experience and talent, bro, it's deep out there. That's what I'm interested to see how Mike Bobo, and I'm confident that he will, but how he maneuvers and spreads this ball around to all these weapons, man. I think on the offensive side, you got 4 or 5, talent-wise, you got 4 or 5 running backs that can get it done, but you got 2 to 3 if Branson is healthy. We don't know yet. That's got, like Shawty say, film. And then you got all the wide receivers. You got tight ends that's got film. And all these offensive linemen that's returning, and Carson Beck. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Mike Bobo got a lot of candy to play with out there, so I'm pretty sure he's he's happy about that. But we're gonna jump into the defense starting next week. Y'all make sure y'all come back, man. Y'all, hey, listen, we're gonna go around, man. Y'all tell the people what y'all got going on. Any last words, CA?
Not a whole lot, man. Glad to be back in the building. You know, it's that time, Dog Nation, for us to go ahead and get behind these guys and be ready to support them. So that's what we do here, Respect the Hedges. I'm glad to be back. That's it. I'm signing off. Keep it going, Coach.
That's right, man. Cool cow. Parting words before we get up out of here.
I like that, man. I'm following up with everything CA said, man. Just getting excited, man. It's after the 4th of July, so we're about to get school started back in about 3-4 weeks. When school starts back, practice geared up, and man, it's gonna be football season again, man. It's gonna be that time for everything that we've been putting in, since we didn't get it done last year to see what that off season is like, to see what the spring is like, to see what these incoming freshmen are like. How much better have they gotten since January? Who's going to be able to come in and contribute and help us get back to the national championship? So I'm excited to see what this ride going to look like this year.
That's right. That's right. Shawty, you want to wrap it up and tell us anything you got going on or thoughts on the offense or anything we talked about these past couple of shows?
No, man, I'm excited to get on the defensive side of the ball because I truly think, that's something that a lot of people think that, we may have kind of switched away from with all this Carson Beck talk and being so strong on the offensive side. But I really think our identity is still a defensive team. So I'm excited to talk about the defense and let everybody know about the type of athletes and, what we're going to be doing on the defensive side of the ball. And other than that, man, catch me tomorrow night, YouTube. I'm going to have my normal crew back tomorrow night. YouTube tomorrow night, 9:30, just my damn opinion, man. We're going to be talking about some relationship type things, man.
Y'all make sure y'all get over there and check that out. Did y'all release an episode today, Shawty, for the Doc and the Jock?
We did. We released the episode tonight at 7 o'clock. We're talking about the love bomber.
The different types of people in the relationship. Hey, they talked about the narcissist. Now they're talking about the love bomber. So y'all make sure to check Shawty out. With you
got the narcissist, the love bomber, the manipulator, and it's 1 or 2 more. I can't think off the top of my head.
That's right. Cool Cal, you had a chance to check out the Doc and the Jock yet?
I ain't had a chance to check it out yet.
You got to get out there, dog.
Wow. Coach, I want to give a shout out to my roommate Earl Chambers, man. His brother Barkley got married a little over a week ago, but he did lose his father. Barkley Sr. passed. Shout out to them, man. I know they thinking heavily on him, but we love him and gonna miss him. But I just want to give them a quick shout out to both of them, Earl and Barkley.
Shout out to the Chambers
condolences, man. Absolutely.
So, all right, man. Shout out to Set the Tone, Alabama College Football Talk. That's our guy, Jake. We appreciate you getting in. He said the Doc and the Jock was a great idea. Yep, that's right.
It ain't an idea, it's reality, my friend.
That's right. Y'all make sure y'all tune in next week. Again, we're starting the defensive talk. We're gonna break it down by position, just like we did. And I think it's gonna be a lot to talk about, like Shawty said, man, because all this offseason has been Carson Beck and the offense. Heisman and what we're gonna do, but that defense it's still Kirby Staple now. We're still Kirby Staple, so we're gonna jump into that defense next week. Hey man, for my guys, Cool Cal, CA, Shawty, and our 2 brethren not here, E-Rob and JV, man. Listen, it's been Respect the Hedges. I'm Coach I. As always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Respect the Hedges, man.